bit of a joke for y'all. What do truck gun guys from a decade ago, leftist political violence agitators, and transgender school shooters have in common? A weird affinity for the KelTec Sub2000. And me. I also have a weird affinity for the Sub2000, but for completely different reasons. So, we're going to be going over those today. Figure you all want to, stick along. So, let's get into it. Hi, hey, hello, how y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking over another gun from my collection, one that probably it's steeped in a little bit of controversy, but nevertheless one that I enjoy just shooting. I'm talking obviously about the KelTec Sub2000, one of the more probably well-known, probably more popular guns that KelTec offers. I'm going to preface this by saying that I like KelTec. I like what they do. People complain about the quality, but I haven't had any major issues in terms of stuff that they've had. But again, I'm a pretty, hobbyist level shooter. I don't put hundreds of rounds every weekend. The gun itself is fun to shoot. I like it. It kind of, for a lot of people, sits in this weird middle ground. Some people view it on one side as being like a great survivalist, backpack / truck gun. And you got these other people over here that are like, it's nothing more than range. So I kind of sit somewhere in the middle, personally. It does work in a backpack. I'm going to demonstrate that later. But like I said, I'm a hobbyist shooter at best, subpar in terms of accuracy. I'm going to put it out there, lay it down for you. The truth, I'm not that great of a shooter. So my opinion is worth whatever you want to value it at. Mine looks a little different from what most Sub2000s look like. I started out in that survivalist essential rifle, but I've kind of moved more towards the range toy because I've got other things that kind of fill the gap that this was meant to fill. To give you an idea, I have a Scorpion Evo and I have a Flux Raider, both of which kind of do what this thing was meant to do, but a little bit better. I do want to do a test. I'm going to do a test to showcase the practicality of it in terms of like the backpack gun ideology. The truck gun ideology does work. I'll go throw it in my truck to show you. But other than that, we'll go ahead and jump straight into it and hope y'all enjoy the video. So one cool thing I do like about this is I can do the HK slaps in it. Let me go ahead and show you that real quick. So it's kind of okay. It's not the same, but it does kind of work. There we go. I mean, it's very fun to shoot. And the red dot does make it a little bit nicer. We'll go ahead and just keep doing some more. I will say one thing, with 9mm, this thing is a little snabby, a little bit of a smack to the shoulder there. Definitely a lot more than like my AR, for sure. Could be the hard plastic, no rubber there to soften it up. I could put something on there. They sell aftermarket, as with most of the stuff on this that's aftermarket. This brand here, M Carbo. I put that in the lane, there we go. Their whole thing is that they specialize in Sub2000 modifications. That's how I found out about it. I just kind of looked some stuff up, and I've done a lot of that to this, so we'll go over that there at the end though. So just a little more. perfect. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of shoot and drill. Nothing too crazy, just fire, reload, fire. The problem with this thing is these Glock mags, these aftermarket ones, are very tight. They're cheap, but they work. And so I got these Magpul mags. They drop out a lot smoother, so I'm gonna use those for the dropping mags. Nothing, I'm not gonna do that whole lot, just a couple. And then we're gonna do the backpack test just to sort of showcase the difference and why this thing isn't exactly the best backpack gun. So let's go ahead and do that. I do like doing that, that's kind of fun. Uh. 8.88, yeah, it's not very fast. It's very, very slow. It's not made for speed reloads for sure. I will say one thing, it's probably faster. The way I've seen people doing it, shooting this thing, is the fastest way of shooting it would be empty your last round, pull it back, lock it like you would in HK, put a new one in, and actually HK slap or use your wrist to bump it. Because you could bump it with your wrist, but kind of hurts. I've done it a few times. It kind of scrapes your arm up a little bit. But you can do it without losing your grip. So it does have that going for it. So let's try it again. Oh. .40, technically faster, not by much. I'm still 8.5 seconds of fighting for my life. And I did smack it. I did manage to keep my arm away from it so it didn't beat me up. Six and a half. That was a whole almost 2 seconds faster than the first time. That's gonna be really slow here. Ow. 8 seconds. Yeah, that was slow. The problem is you gotta get the motion down. I do not have the motion down, obviously. So like I said, it literally be just like you run out of your round, you pull it back. You can probably use your left hand. You pull it back, charge it as you drop the mag, reach in, grab another, load it in, smack with your wrist. And I like to get one more fluid motion. If I can get sub 6 seconds, I'd be pretty happy. .65. Almost had it. Missed my first shot, but it's whatever. .34. That's the fastest I've got it. My brain doesn't want to connect the dots here. I'll go to reach for the mag and I'll forget to charge the handle back. I gotta remember to charge the handle back. God dang, 5 seconds. 5:01. Look at that. 5:01. That is cool. Missed my first shot, but I don't really care. That was awesome. Because you can technically drop the mag while I got the motion. .61, that was slower. .505, that was without the whole thing. I feel like I could do it a little faster. Come on. Well, 6.54 if I want to miss my second shot. 5.17 on the second. And 6.5 on the third. Oh, slinging my mag out of my hand probably isn't helpful. Almost got this mag empty. .538. You know what, that 505 or 501, that's the fastest I'm gonna go. That's kind of enough of that drill anyway. Let's just go ahead and mag dump the rest of this, because it does have a pretty nice trigger in it. So let's just go ahead and mag dump the rest of it and just see how fast I can do it. Right into the dirt here. There we go. All right. With emptying that mag, now let's do the backpack test. See what you think of that. All right, so now we're gonna get to the testing phase of the whole backpack gun idea. Here we got my backpack, obviously. It's just a basic standard run-of-the-mill, or supposed to represent just a run-of-the-mill typical backpack. This one's a range bag technically, so it's got a couple differences, but for the sake of the testing, it's just gonna be a stand-in for a regular backpack. For the guns, obviously we're going with the Sub2000. That's the main thing I'm showing off here. We also have a Scorpion Evo. This is the Evo 3 Plus, so it's the one that has the AR style release instead of the paddle. So you got the little indent there to showcase that. And lastly, Flux Raider, which these things are gotten really popular. I bought one and I do very much enjoy it. Beyond that, the only thing they're going to be doing is just seeing how fast someone who's not a qualified shooter by any stretch of the word can drop out of a backpack, deploy their gun, and take a shot and hit a target. I got a beeper, so I'm going to use that for the testing for the speed of it. Another thing to note too will be that if they can have a round chambered, safety on, they'll have it on. Obviously this one can't do that because it is physically inoperable with the thing folded. But other than that, mag size isn't exactly something that I don't think is that big of a priority, at least for this. You can put 30 rounders in all of them. I don't have those. That's going to just be a regular Glock 17 mag. This is a 29.5 rounder, and then this is a 21 rounder. But overall, let's just go ahead and get straight into the testing. Also, I want to go ahead and preface this too by saying that the Sub2000, I'm going to do it first. It does not need to have the safety on because, like I said, the bolt or the thing can't, chamber while being folded. So, without further ado, let's go get into it. So, when I hit the beeper, I'm going to drop my backpack, pull the gun out, deploy it, load a shot, take a shot, all within as fast as I can do it. So, let's go and get into it. .78. That's not bad. I'm gonna do 2 more shots of each gun. I'm gonna do 3 shots of each gun just to see the overall average. I'll put it up on the screen at the end of it just to do a quick comparison. Like I said, I am not an experienced shooter by any stretch of the word, so take what I do with a grain of salt. So let's go ahead and get on the next one. Man, I sure have no terrorist attack. Oh, well, just my freaking luck, man. .97, so sub 8 seconds. I don't care who the IRS sends, I am not paying my taxes. Okay, that was not meant to be a terrorist threat. I'm gonna go ahead and 785. Faster? Maybe there was no, I'm not gonna make that joke. Let's move on to the next one. All right, next up we got the Scorpion Evo. This one, unlike the other one, doesn't have a red dot on it. It's just running basic irons, which will work. But I noticed from shooting a little bit, the thing shoots really, like, I gotta aim really low because it's like sighted in for like 150 yards or something on a freaking 8-inch 9mm. But I'll worry about that later. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the next testing. Man, I sure do love this lovely walk in the park I'm taking. Oh God, terrorists. It's always terrorists. Nine seconds even. Get them out aim really low because of this thing. I'm only about 25 yards out. So, let's try number 2. Honestly, I think the Geneva Convention is a little overrated, in my opinion. But, oh. .733. Faster already. Okay. Let's try one more. You know, somebody once told me they were gay and they also carried 40 cal. I was like, why'd you just tell me you were gay twice? Oh. 667, that was the fastest. All right, so we'll mix those three numbers together, average them out on screen, and get on with the final test, which will be the Flux Raider. All right, last one here, we're loaded up with the Flux Raider. That's what I've got in here now. So we'll see how that one goes. Oh God, there's a pit bull running towards that child. .662, that was with 2 shots, and I hit. Is this the NAMBLA / map convention? .707. I'm not gonna say anything funny for this one, can't think of nothing. .621, fastest one. All right, so now we'll show the numbers across the entirety of them, up on screen, averaged out between all 3 guns. I wasn't trying to be super scientific about it, like each thing had a red dot on it, or like making sure that all 3 had the same amount of rounds in each mag and all the other stuff. It was just a general kind of what if, like if I was carrying them the way that I have them now. We'll go ahead and get back and talk about what all I've done in this thing to make it kind of the way I like it. So we'll get to that now. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and go over this thing, talking about all the modifications I've done to it from front to back. Let's talk about this thing. So, like I said, started out life as a super basic, unmodified bone stock, Glock 17 compatible, 9mm. So they do make the 40s, but I got the 9mm because I wanted it that way. And when I originally got it, I wanted the Glock 19 version. They didn't have it in stock, so I got this thing sent between instead with an extra mag. So I was like, I'll take it. Starting from the front, super basic front sight, nothing done to it. I have a threaded muzzle covers on the end of it. I have ran it with a suppressor. It is pretty fun to shoot with a suppressor. I don't have one. I said that in the last video when I did my LMT that I haven't gone through the process of buying one, so I don't have one on it yet. Moving past that, everything else in here is stock, except for this. This is the Strike Industries vertical grip / bipod. Bought it to put on my LMT actually because I was trying to build that thing as kind of a GWAT clone. And they have the Tango Down vertical grip, and I saw that, and I was like, I kind of like it. And then I saw that they used to, also some did the deployable bipod grips, which weren't that great from what I've been told, but I kind of want to do something like that, and I know the Strike Industries ones are pretty cheap, or inexpensive, I should say, not cheap. But I bought it, put it on it, didn't really like the way it looked, so ended up taking it off instead, and what was left, I was like, you know what? That would fit perfectly on the Sub-2000s, because it's kind of turned into a range toy at this point anyway, and I don't usually shoot it that seriously, so I think it kind of fits the whole, call it a meme if you want. It's kind of a meme, but still has to fold up because it isn't in the way. It looks like it almost kind of fits on, you know? And I actually have shot it off a table with this thing, and it doesn't do that bad. I'm not super aggressive with it, so I got to worry about breaking it, running that hard. Moving back here, let me show on this side. We have probably one of the most noticeable things on it, which is the front sight mount, the deployable front sight mount. This is made from M-Carbo. That's who makes it. Most of the modifications on this mechanically are M-Carbo, which for those of you that aren't aware, M-Carbo is a brand, I think they're based out of Florida, that specializes in things like the Sub-2000 and a few other guns. I heard about them online, heard that they're pretty popular, like for Sub-2000 owners. And I can say that the things they make are pretty high quality, especially this optic mount. I think I paid like 140 bucks for it. But, I mean, it holds 0. I mean, at least out to 25 yards on a 5-inch gong, it's a 0 ain't shifted. And that's just with me, like, constantly flipping it up and down. It's got this little pull tab here. So when you pull that down, it flicks it to the side. Which, on top of it, I have a Romeo MSR. I bought this to put on something else. Didn't really like it. I like my Romeo 5 a lot better. So, I put this on this because I was like, it fits, and it does a good job. Behind that, we have their flip-up manual front sight. Most of the stuff at this point is M-Carbo. I'm just not going to say M-Carbo because I'm going to say it 50 times. This is their pop-up, manually, like, flipped-up rear sight. They made 2 versions of it. By the way, I also want to say I'm not shilling for them. I'm not sponsored in any means. I mean, obviously, I'm a nobody, but they make good stuff. They make good stuff. I like it. So, this is the manually flipping rear sight, which you definitely want if you want to put this thing on and not have it in the way. I opted for the dovetail style instead of the peephole. I kind of wish I got the peephole because the 0 on this thing is kind of hard to iron out. I still haven't figured it out all that well. I'm not super consistent with it. So I'm probably gonna end up actually, if I do anything else to this thing, I kind of probably gonna leave it the way it is. But if I do any other modification in the future, is putting the peep sight on this. I think it just looks better, and I like peep sights more. I've learned that after shooting with iron sights for the longer time. Moving on that, we get to the main thing that I like the most about this probably, which would be the internal modification. I switched and got their metal takedown lever, which is a lot better than the plastic one that KelTec comes with. It just got way too much flex to it, and I think it just makes it feel a bit higher quality, just having that metal takedown lever, and it works very well. Trigger, this is their flat face trigger. They make a curved one. I think the flat looks a little nicer. So got their entire trigger upgrade kit, which drops this thing from, I think it had like a 7.5 or 8 pound trigger. It's pretty heavy trigger on a 9mm PCC, stock from the factory, and I think it drops it down to like a 3.5 or 4. It's a very light trigger. You know, it's very enjoyable to shoot. So watch this. Only a little bit of a take up, but very satisfying snap. It's got a pretty substantial amount of return before it hits the wall and then drops again. For somebody who's not trying to run and gun with this thing as fast as you can, it's better than what you're probably gonna have to worry about. I like it. It's definitely worth the money if I was gonna upgrade it. I do like it. We also upgraded the feed ramp from a plastic feed ramp to a stainless steel feed ramp, which I do like a lot better. It was stainless at one point, but it's not been cleaned in a while. But if you could see, I'll actually show you from this angle. You can kind of see it right there. You can see it in the sun right there. With the grass behind it, that's the feed ramp. All black now from carbon buildup. So it doesn't exactly look the way it's supposed to, but it is, trust me, it is a stainless steel feed ramp, and I do like it. I never really had any feed issues with the plastic one that came on originally, but from what people said, over an extended amount of shooting, it will deform if you run it really hot or run it really fast for a pretty good long time, because that plastic's gonna warp, so they can deform from what I've been told. I don't think it's happened a lot, but I played it on the safe side, just put a stainless one on, and it's sort of preparation for the future, if anything. Got the label. This is the sleeve cover, or the tube cover. I don't know what they call it, but it just covers the tube, so you have a nice smooth cheek weld. If you have facial hair like I do, it's definitely nice to get this, because this plastic buttstock has a little bit of play to it, and it will grab and pull on your facial hair if you're not super careful about that. But this helps to mitigate that for sure. Lastly, we got the little rubber sleeve that just slides over the charging handle, gives it a little bit more comfortable grip to it. They also make like these other ones that have like a 2 finger and like just a fatter grip. I like this little rubber sleeve. The original one's not that bad. It's just makes it a little bit more comfortable to grab onto it. So yeah, that's all the modifications of this thing that I've done to it. You don't probably need to do all these. If I was going to recommend modifications, the ones I would recommend would definitely, if you like shooting with optics and not having to never be able to fold it up again, I would definitely opt for the red dot mount. And I would also say probably the trigger upgrade. It just makes it a more enjoyable time for everybody. But I would say those two would definitely be the biggest upgrades. And then maybe, you know, if you want to, get the rear sight. Dovetail or peep sight's up to you. I'm going to change it out for a peep, like I said, if I do any more, if I have modifications to it. Beyond that, that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. I appreciate you all for sticking around. I will, like I said, progress is being made slowly, but there is progress being made on the Cazul. Don't expect anything for a while though, because it's going to be kind of a slow update to it. So I will also say too, I do have some more. I'm working on some more gun videos. My work is kind of busy, so I can't really devote a whole lot of time to doing this, you know, consistently. I could do it maybe once every couple weeks, like maybe 2 videos a month or something, maybe 3, if I have some extra free time. But beyond that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. So see ya.